Hare Krishna, everyone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Vancha Kalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Ganchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to everyone. Let me know if I am audible.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I'm hearing very low. I don't know why. Can someone else speak, please? It's okay. So we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26. I think this is the third in its series. We are discussing the Sankhya philosophy that mm, Devahuti is receiving from Kapila Muni. Yeah. And through that we are blessed. Why? Because I don't know what is happening. 1 second, please. I'm trying to share my screen. Share advanced option. I don't know. Anyway, let me share. Do let me know if you can see my screen. At least like that we can. So in that there is the questions, and then Kapila Muni is answering, so that it's not for only his mother he was speaking, because he is the Supreme Lord and he is so kind that he want to give this knowledge to everyone. And but as part of his pastime, he has selected in this way that Devahuti is taking a very humble position, saying that I am so fortunate to have a great husband and also a great son, but I don't know what could be a reason that I am still in the material conditioning and material suffering. And then last week we discussed about the elements, this material world, pradhan, and then we were talking about the gunas, and then we will continue from here, how these ingredients are combined and what is that gelling factor, and take it from there and see if there is something very important as part of this session. I'm just reading once again what we read 3 weeks back because we may forget. So, text 15 says, all these are considered the qualified Brahman. The mixing element, which is known as time, is counted as 25th element. So, we have this gross elements, gross sense objects. There is this karmendriya, jnanendriyas, and when we count all of them, it comes to 24. Usually, they say that this is what is the matter. The matter that is are the ingredients for building up the whole creation. As we compared last time to construction, in the construction of a building, there is ingredients of sand, bricks, cement, iron, water. Maybe we can say this time element is like that. Without water, we know we may have sand, cement, brick, everything, but when a wind comes and then everything falls apart. So we see that time factor is so powerful that is described in the next 3 verses, telling that the mixing element, which is known as time, is counted as the 25th element, and the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of deluded soul who has contacted material nature. Referring back my notes. Oh, verse number 15. Mhm. So here we see that in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, according to Vedic version, there is no existence beyond Brahman. Sarvam Khalam, Khalva Idam Brahman, Chandogya Upanishad. It stated that also in Vishnu Puran that whatever we see is Parasya Brahmana Shakti, which means what we can with our eyes that we get from birth. Yeah, because after we are born, we have these organs, the senses, and then these senses are the means to uh, approach and acquire pleasure from sense objects. So in that way, these eyes are given, and through these eyes we can only see matter. Even that matter we can't sometimes see when we take example of air, unless we do a lab test, and in the lab test we can find, okay, there is a oxygen is composed of O, and water is composed of H2O. Um, ozone is composed of O3. So these details are coming, but still under a microscope we can still only see a matter, not spirit. And when we see only matter, we may think that that's everything. If someone is saying that there is a world which is totally different, we would not believe. And that's why there is this in the reference from Upanishad, we see that this is topmost, we see. And even Vishnu Puran, that whatever we see is Parasya Brahmana Shakti, the energy of the Lord, not the Lord Himself, not that spiritual energy of the Lord, which is another kind of energy. When Brahman is mixed with the three qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance, they results the material expansion, which is sometimes called Saguna Brahma. There are two Brahmans. One is Nirguna. Nirguna means that does not has these modes of nature manifested. Of course, it is there. Uh, it is like the bags of sand or cement or everything. The bags are there, but not yet visible into a shape. Yeah. So the gunas are there, but not in a manifested form which one can appreciate or see, one can understand it. That is called Nirguna Brahman. But when these are mixed together and the shape is given into this very beautiful, variegated world, yeah, universe, then it is called Saguna Brahman. Yeah, but irrespective whether it's manifested or not manifested, it's just like a snake, whether it has bitten or not bitten, there is a poison in snake. So the gunas are there. Yeah. And when Nirguna Brahman is found, simple unalloyed goodness prevails. Where Nirguna Brahman is found. Uh, so in that sense, we see that this Brahman effulgence is, yeah, beyond the influences of matter. That one can, if one goes to there, then there is no problem. But Saguna Brahman is described by Sankhya system of philosophy as consisting of 25 elements, including time factor, which is telling about past, present, and future. And Prabhavam, Paurusam Prahu, Kalam Eke Yato Bhayam, Ahankara Vimodasya, Kartum Prakritim Iyusaha. The influence of the Supreme Lord is felt in the time factor. So we are in a world where Lord has nothing to do. He is not so interested. But still, if Lord is not present, we will forget him forever. Because ultimately we came here so that we want to enjoy. And when there is no time factor, which means unlimited pleasure that is granted to a jiva, then he would carry on and on and on. Or he would come to a point where he thinks that, hey, when there is no problem with time, if not today, we'll do tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. In that way, he would not appreciate the beauty of the material nature that the purpose of him coming, um, through the element of time, it's intensified more so that he can really understand what he has thought is really a great idea is not really in that way. So, and that is this time factor, which is none other than the Lord Himself, uh, in the form of Kala, Kaleshwar, we know, in the form of time, hmm, controller. So the Lord manifests so that to do what? There are three purposes. One is uh, one purpose is to cause fear of death. The other day we were talking that if a if someone has or some being has appeared, then there is always a fear of death because there is a start and end. Just like mm, this, um, yeah, what is that? One can be in an illusion that nothing breaks, but when the time comes, everything breaks apart. Even this body also, because it is made of such ingredients which cannot live forever. So we have taken shelter of something that can only give us temporary shelter, not forever. Whereas when we take the shelter of Mukunda, at the lotus feet of one who can give mukti, then what is happening is in that way we are getting entry into that world where our body is different, and in that way we are spiritual entities with spiritual body with spiritual senses, so that we can engage in a spiritual transcendental world which is not driven by time. So that's why there is this fear. Everyone is scared, right? Something may happen, something, after all, I have worked very hard, I have earned so much, and then I have bought with great effort. And if I will not have this fear, I would just keep on enjoying because I will think, I can enjoy. But time is helping us to be disciplined. We cannot become like free spirits, do whatever we want, but time is helping us to be disciplined so that, okay, one day or the other we learn a lesson that it's very crucial to be serious. Uh, When there is no fear, we are not serious, at least in a low level. Until we get a taste for japa, until we get a taste for bhakti, we are doing more in not a loving mood, but in a fearful mood, so that we start appreciating. And this fear is also helping us. Hmm? And time is Lord Himself. And the second one is the time is an agitator of the gunas. Hmm? Just imagine there is no pressure. No pressure. Then we always think, I can be in mode of goodness, or I can be in mode of passion, or I can be in mode of ignorance. Isn't it? Because when there is no urgency, why I have to do something? Why should I get up early in the morning? There is no pressure because time, morning is not defined like that, right? When there is no time, there is no morning, no afternoon, no. Huh? But because time is there, it is defining us to become serious of following a regime so that we can achieve something. So in that way, he is also agitating the gunas, where we know that time in the morning is very favorable for spiritual activities. Time in the afternoon is very much influenced by mode of passion, and the time again in the evening or night is more affected uh, and injecting the spirit of becoming more ignorant of the reality, because when there is no light, we can't see everything as it is. And when we think that anyway I can't see as it is, let me uh, engage in because anyone, because no one sees me in darkness, that's why I can do anything. Yeah. And that is the quality of mode of ignorance. So in that way, this time factor is also uh, is influencing or um, agitating these gunas. It is not. Sometimes we think, why is this so nice when I get up early in the morning? If I'm doing japa, the rounds are finished. But when we are doing in the night, it's not so smooth. Of course, yeah, I appreciate Rahul Prabhu is still able to get a very peace of mind in the night when no one is disturbing around. But when such a disturbance is not there in the morning, it would even give more taste for the japa. So in that way, so the second, I mean, this time has not only the purpose is to create a fear of death, expiry date. Yeah. Not only that, in the conditions jivas, but he is also the one. Yeah, because one who is agitating these gunas, and so that people are favored anyway in all ways. Yeah? If someone is in the ignorance, not doing anything, is it really good? No, right? Just imagine when we are eating some junk food, or when we are sleeping very long, or when we take drugs. All these things which are in the mode of ignorance will only harm our body. Yeah, isn't it? So in that way, in the mode of ignorance, it's only harmful. And this is an influence of time. One may ask a question like, but why Lord wants to do that? Yeah, I think in the two verses later we'll see the answer. But we start seeing that time is so important. Not only this 24 elements, but this 25th element, which is the mixing factor of all, is the Lord Himself. So in that way, Lord is so merciful that not only He created a house, He's also living us in that house. Hmm. So Lord exists internally as Paramatma. I think that is also mentioned here. Um, the fear. The fear of death, the fear of death is the kala, which represents the influences of the personality of Godhead. In other words, time is destructive. This is very important. Time is destructive. Whatever is created is subject to destruction and dissolution, which is the action of time. Time is a representation of Lord. Hmm. Therefore, accept the time factor as a supreme personality of Godhead standing before us. Uh, in that way, we can. Then it goes further, and he says, "My dear mother, Swayambhu Manu's daughter, the time factor is the supreme Lord from whom the creation begins as a result of agitation of neutral, unmanifested nature." This we just covered. I'll go a little faster. Um, the supreme personality of Godhead is the cause of products of material nature. Without his contact, material nature cannot produce anything. So we in because we do not see the Lord, we may tend to think that whole creation came it on its own, huh? Because we see that okay, there is a mother who is giving birth to a child. Where is Lord? Did Lord inject or did Lord do anything? No, we see in operation theater that mother is giving birth to a child, huh? And in that way we start seeing only that the secondary creation. I think the previous verse was already telling that it is called Dvitiya. Dvitiya means not the primary creation but the secondary creation, and the nature of secondary creation is such a way that unless we appreciate the first creation, we will always be in illusion because the Lord is the one who has created all these elements, modes, and also us as jivas. But if you don't see that, if you see this wonderful nature, the tree, come on, you have put a seed, right? And the tree is coming. Where is the Lord there? So in that way, when we start seeing with our eyes, we cannot appreciate that. And it is compared to like this, the nipples on a goat's neck. I don't know if you have seen. Yeah? There are two hanging nipples on the neck of a goat, and they appear, but they do not give milk. Similarly, material nature appears to the material scientist to act and react in wonderful manner, but in reality, it cannot act without the agitator time. So without this element of time, one cannot see anything moving and not moving. Because what time we get up, what time we are working, everything it is the time through which we are seeing a animated way of our living. Otherwise, when we say, hey, what did you do at what is it called? 10 o'clock, 11 minute, 22 second, it would be just one photo of our life. When all these photos are put into a reel and then when we roll it across, it is this chronology of the time through which we can see what is happening. Otherwise, when there is no time, it would be only static, nothing. So in that way, time is so powerful. Whoever is who is the representative of the Lord, yeah, a representation of the Supreme Lord. When time agitates the neutral state of material nature begins to produce varieties of manifestations. So indeed, it is as a woman cannot produce a child unless impregnated by man. Material nature cannot produce or manifest anything unless it is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of time factor. So it is through time, the Lord in the form of time, He is producing everything. So we need to understand, hey, friends, uh, so we need to understand this principle that usually we have this misconception that time is very horrifying. The the Lord in the form of time. Oh no no no! I don't want death. I don't like this. And we go and offer our all humble prayers. So this is the example given. So yeah, of course, in a world of equality where women are doing everything, but still the reality is that they are need to be impregnated in case if they would like to have children. That is how the material nature has designed. Of course, we could come to the advancement of science, which says that one can do all kinds of uh, mm, Options available, but that is only an alternative. The best would always be a normal, impregnated woman. So, just to show or just to continue to live here, if we find alternative ways and claim that, see how great I am, that is also foolish. Why? Because in the next verse, Anta Purusha Rupena Kala Rupena Yo Bahi Samanveti Esha Sattavanam Bhagavan Atma Mayaya. So he's saying, by exhibiting his potencies, the Lord adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as a super soul and without as time. So inside and outside, it is the Lord who is making everything functioning. Inside every being, there is also super soul, and this is this. It is also confirmed elsewhere in the Vedic literature. Two birds, I mean, yeah, there is this. We know this. That two birds are sitting on a tree. One bird is witnessing, the other bird is eating the fruits of the tree. Huh? This Purusha or Paramatma who resides within the body of individual soul is described in Bhagavad Gita 13:23 is Upadrashta and Anumanta. Upadrashta means witness. So the Lord is doing two activities inside us every moment or even every fraction of a moment so that that fraction can be infinite. Huh? He's always there. He's observing us. He's a big brother. What is it called? Big boss? What is the show? Big boss, yeah. So the big boss is actually the Lord who is inside our heart. His camera is so powerful. Huh? His camera is so powerful that the camera is taking pictures around everything of us. Which means if we are sitting inside a room and we see there is no camera, yeah, we are being cheated because Lord is telling that I am present. Lord is not saying that no, I'm not there. You can do what, and afterwards He is putting all the uh, in what is it called in the hell. Hey, I didn't know that you are seeing. No, He's saying I am already present. He's giving already alerts, just like when we are driving car, right? There is this radar. Radar is already there. We cannot say that, hey, someone took me a photo without telling me. No, when there is radar, how we disciplinedly do? Drive carefully, right? So the Lord is also inside our heart. When we know this, at least we know, okay, we should well behave. Come on, that is our nature, right? Because as a being, we always want to be good. Why? Because goodness is the quality of a servant. Because we are servant of the Lord, because we want to serve the Lord, the quality that is at least required is goodness. And everywhere, wherever we go, we don't want to be rowdies. Even if we want to be rowdies, we want to be good rowdies. Why? Because we want to be always top, wherever, whatever we do. So the Lord is inside our heart as Upadrashta, witness. Drashta means drishti, Upadrashta as a overseeing personality. Yeah, and Lord, vigilance cannot be escaped. It's not at all possible that we can say, okay, oh Lord, give me a break. At least for some time, I want to be on myself. No. Why? Because he also does the second role, which is Anumanta. To give sanction, he also have to know what we are doing. Yeah, isn't it? If you come and tell, can I do like this? I have to ask you history. What happened? Why you want to do this and etc. Yeah. If I'm always with you, no problem. Yeah. I know everything. So the Lord is doing, taking the role of this, as Upadrashta, witness, and Anumanta, the sanctioning authority. In that way, we understand that Lord is seeing everything what is happening. Not only what you are doing, what I am doing, everyone, what everyone is doing, Lord is seeing that. And He is also, without His sanction, nothing is happening. Whatever the bomb blast that happened, the twin towers that broke, huh? Lord also is giving permission, right? So Lord is a bad Lord, no? When Lord is giving such a permission, huh? How can we glorify such activity of the Lord? Hmm. And we see that he is Paramatma, he is Maheshwar. How come that Lord, where we say he's saying great, but we see that how when Lord is having complete control of everything, because when he's supreme controller, how can something mishappening happens? Why? Anyone? Because ultimately we are believing God is good, but actions he does is not showing that sometimes. Okay. Part of what? Lord's desire or what? Hmm. But if they committed crime, why the civilians should suffer? If Lord is all merciful, why can't he do that? Huh? When he is present every moment with everyone, can't Lord save them? It's the result of their karma. Willingly or unwilling, they have to accept. What about others in the group? If Lord is all beautiful, all good, if bad happens.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, hey Mother Prabhu.
Basically, as someone already told that it's karma. For example, who are really in the path of devotion or who believes in the God, who are trying to serve Him, if as per karma, if he some snake should bite him, by the mercy of Krishna, just it will ant will bite him. But who are not in the devotion or something like that one, the karma will definitely will act on them. For
So yes,
example,
okay.
if
One second, one second. Just one second. One second. Hmm. Yeah, very Mother. Now you can say.
for example, if Vibhu is not hearing your words, you leave him like do whatever you want. After that, you will get the punishment for your actions. For example, if Vibhu did something wrong, but he prayed, Papa, I did something wrong, but please forgive me. Next time I will correct myself. The punishment will be reduced.
Mm-hmm.
That I understand.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes. Hare
Eh,
Krishna.
yeah, what Venu Mata Prabhuji. Guys, what Prabhu, yeah, Veni Mata Prabhuji, what he said is, yeah, I correct Prabhuji. Like I also heard one of your classes, like the karma is like it will carry forward for next births also. Like what the bad or what the good what we have done in the previous past lives, that will be carry forward, uh, and so. Um, yeah, if we believe in Krishna, so something is going to happen very bad, that will not that what we expected. Like it will taken by only a little part only we can experience if we believe in Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
So Krishna is so merciful on devotees.
Mm-hmm.
As Prabhuji, so that's what I want to share.
Yeah, Krishna is merciful not only to devotees but everyone.
But he is little partial to devotees, or no?
No, he's not partial.
Okay.
Yeah, he is only favoring. He's not partial, but he is only favoring for one who has done something to the Lord, and that reciprocation, yes, appears to be partiality, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that favorism, because we don't know the background, may appear like favorism, right? Or partiality, sorry. Someone was telling?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Yes, I think Neil, correctly, yeah, as mentioned, and also Sindhuja Mataji, like karmas are one of the factors for whatever we get, and maybe sometimes I don't know, like whenever God also sees us that He is a nice person, He's a devotee, and He is doing good in His life, but He's deviating now because taking the influence, and now He's deviating. He gives some trouble to us so that we remember Him again, so that we come back on our path. So He might do it to for our goodness, that we come back for in His service again, and He remember again. So one of the reason that we get some troubles in the life, apart from the karma. Of course, karma is there, and karma will work. Yeah. And second point, Prabhuji, when Sindhuja Matai says that he's partial to devotees, um, so we can maybe also take it like this. Yeah, I heard one example that yeah, some people actually say like this, that God is partial. मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ, उसके साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ. I am also doing good. I am also, yeah. So actually, if there is a, yeah, in a garden or in a house, in the garden, if the rain is falling, and someone has put some drum or some container upside down, then the rain will not collect in that. The rain is falling equally in all the gardens and all the places, but someone has put upside down the container, but other has put the container in the right position that it collects all the rainwater. It make a harvesting of the rainwater. So the rainwater is equally coming from the sky, um, and but one is getting the rainwater collected. His container is full, and others container is
Yeah, very nice example, right? What do you say, Sindhu Mataji?
empty. And this is because like in the we get equally on all, as Prabhuji you also said na, that he's
Is it network issue on my side?
down. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Om Prabhu. What do you say, Sindhu Mataji, with this reference?
Yes, Prabhuji. And one more, like one more thing I would like to add, some like that if something is happening good in someone's life, if he or she is a Krishna consciousness, someone will say, okay, Krishna is there with you, so everything is happening good for you. So these are things are coming from some people. So what can we have to take it, Prabhuji? Like, how should we take it this one?
So, are you asking, is it not partiality? Is that your question?
Yeah, question, Prabhuji. Like,
Yeah, I mean, with the example what Omkareshwar Prabhu said, right?
yeah.
You have used your intelligence properly, that you have turned your cup upside, not
Mm-hmm.
upside down, but properly.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
So, so there is also something you did, right? Not only the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Lord is showering equally the rain.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So on that level, he's doing, but he's also favoring, yeah, because his intelligence is also still the Lord's favor, right? But why? Because again, you have done something. Yeah. And of course, not because of your karma. Because of karma, you can attract Lord. It is not akarma. It is not karma or vikarma. It is through akarma only we can attract the Lord, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, yeah, coming back, yeah, to this point of why all these destructions are happening and how others are affected. Definitely, no one can escape the external energy of the Lord, which is so powerful, where time is a factor, which is coming in the form of destruction or dissolution. And the Lord is also in this form, He is also punishing for what we are doing. And what Venimada Prabhu you were saying is that okay, if Lord wants to save, no one can stop him, and if Lord wants to punish, also no one can stop him. So in that way, there is the Lord still has a supreme control on all of us, and based on how we are, it's not basically engaging ourselves in work, but it basically is how we are becoming a devotee or non-devotee that is deciding the fate of us. Yeah. So, I mean, again, not to confuse, yeah, Sindhu Mataji, I want to rephrase saying that Lord is equal, He is giving every resource to everyone equally. Yeah. But at the same time, what He is ensuring is that if someone is giving, because it's an object cannot give anything in return, but we are not objects. We are indeed existing to serve the Lord. And as soon as with one is getting this by the mercy of sadhus who have showered the mercy without we did anything, yeah. And when that is coming into our life and the intelligence or clarity we get, then when we engage in His service, then the Lord is also, yeah, we are able to appreciate His. So whatever now we are saying that uh, in a family it is that I earn money, I earn the food, and maintain the family. Yeah, this sense of we are satisfied with this partial reality as the ultimate reality. This is also reality. But when we go to the next level, then we start appreciating. Then we automatically ourselves will appreciate it is the Lord who is doing. When people who are envious of this, they think this is as partiality of the Lord. Huh? Correct, Sindhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Yeah, Saundari Mataji, you want to say something? That's a very valid point. Yeah. Yeah, what Saundari Mataji is saying that if Krishna is allowing everything to happen, whatever, no, first of all, it is something like you are the police officer, but you are not doing your duty. Huh? Then what will happen is that there is more crime in the city. Unless there is a punishment, first of all, someone has to catch hold of and punish, and this punishment is helping only for good. Yeah, this is what is we call reformatory and purificatory process. We put in a jail not because we are fed up of that people, but we want to put them in jail so that they are given a chance to think. Just imagine if he's freely outside now, he can always keep going everywhere and continue his job. At least in jail now, there is no facility to go and rob. That's why as soon as he gets into a jail, he's getting a uniform. Uh, there are no these all equipments. One can do anything. So in that way, his propensity to misuse the nature is conditioned so that he starts thinking, this life is better. After all, whatever I was thinking to get that, this so much, right? Now in jail, na, I'm happy because I get timely food, I get timely sleep. Huh? Of course, not Chappan Bhog. Huh? But for that, we get into devotion. Then the Lord is seeing and releasing. But yeah, that's very much valid point. So coming back to this main question, if the Lord is so merciful, why everything is happening like this is punishment is also His mercy. Hmm. Hmm. So what you're saying is, how come that it can be so cruel for everyone in a war? Hmm. Yeah, we refer to Mahabharata, right? So before and when Ganga Devi is bringing them and putting them into the water, we see that is a nice screen. Moving itself is very pathetic. Just imagine for father like Shantanu, he's seeing what is happening to punish or to see his children dying. So when all these distractions are, there's a rugby going on. Let me turn on the TV in the universe. In this universe, let me see everything what is happening. See now there is a rocket launched. There is a flight going into the building. There is a fire. There is a earthquake. Lord is not pleased because people how to deal. Right? It's very pathetic because we see that, or we also see some child or children, they are born with not complete organs. So when all these things we see, we even, yeah, science says that when Lord is so perfect, how can this world be imperfect? Some say that maybe Lord tried to create a perfect world, but he could not, lost control. This is German philosophy. I don't know the philosopher name. Yeah. He says, yeah, it's out of control. See, everywhere, whatever thing is happening, it's happening. Hmm. Because Lord is witness. Why
Hare
will
Krishna
He allow it
Prabhuji.
to do?
Voice is not
Because it's,
audible.
yes, my voice is not audible.
Now, yeah, now it is.
Now better.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, we can hear sometimes the problem with the network.
Okay. Let me check which network I am connected to. No, I'm connected to good one. I can switch once. It's a yes. Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So what we were discussing, yeah, about this collective karma, right? So when we see that, how come that a person who even forget about non-devotees, we see also sometimes devotees are put in such a, yeah, at a very early age they become sick. Forget about them. Ordinary devotees, we are talking about swamis who are getting sick, who are having leukemia, who have blood cancer, bone cancer, what is it called, bone marrow. So in that way, so many things are there, right? So we see that when Lord is all merciful, why these things are happening? As someone was already telling, If Lord want to punish, no one can escape. And if Lord is merciful, no one can do anything, any harm to that person. So the Lord is all merciful. Yeah, it is something compared to like a fan. When someone is um, now surrendering, yeah, someone said, "Na, now they are saying, okay, Lord, I understood what my mistakes are." Then the punishment, Veni Mother Prabhu was saying, the punishment are less. So punishment is less, but not completely free. Why? Because until we are properly, thoroughly, 100% cleansed, there is still a chance that we can again make the same mistake. Yeah. And the mercy of the Lord cannot be so easily understood. If someone's house is burnt or someone is literally burnt, even if he is a devotee, you may think, what? Come on, day and night he's serving you. When he's serving you, how can you treat like this? Yeah, Lord knows how to handle, because Lord can give him a new body so that he can engage in service for his own desire, right? That he can, uh, because we have this bodily conception, that's why everything what is destructive, we think it is really destructive, not to the soul, to the body. That's why we think, oh, this is very pathetic. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita that focus on soul, not on the body platform. Yeah. Of course, then if you're focusing on that, what happens? The body is still burning, right? The real body, yeah. So it endures so much pain. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We didn't know that how it will be looking like. Yeah. Well, what do you say, Sindhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Very Mother Prabhu, correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. And one more thing, Prabhuji, coming to this one, how the punishment will be. For example, you mentioned the airplane is going into the building. So in America, at that time there was a devotee. So he prayed to Mother Radharani. He's the devotee of Mother Radharani. So yeah, he is working in that building.
Yeah.
So on that day, he ready for to go to the office. Suddenly he got the fever, heavy fever. He fell down in the home only. The punishment, he got the fever, and the protection is he didn't go to the work. If he would have gone to the work, he would have died.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. And then there is also this example of Titanic, right? I don't know how many of you know. Yeah. The Titanic sank, right? There was a family, very rich man. He earned a lot of money. He had booked all tickets for his kids. I don't know, like 5 kids and himself, and they were ready for this voyage, first voyage. But because he had to undergo a surgery because of some small infection, that wouldn't have been a big thing. But this was the first voyage of Titanic itself. They said, no, 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 you're not allowed. Yeah, you don't fit the criteria. He was literally crying because, after all, he's a businessman. Setbacks for a businessman means hard, right? Because he's in the mode of passion. And then he was literally upset. But after 23 days, or I don't know how many days, yeah, it happened. Then he was very happy. Venimada Prabhu, when you were telling that example, right? That was for a devotee. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we cannot say this is only because of karma. Yeah, because if we say it's only karma because I did something, that's why I'm suffering. Rather, we see that uh, it is that the Lord who is favoring us so that ultimately you don't even do any kind of this bad or good karma. Yeah. Then only we will come to the level of spiritual platform, and in that platform only we can really apply and devotion, and can completely get rid of all this forever. We can wind up our business forever only when we come to this point. Yeah, yeah, you can speak. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. No, it's not punishment. It is free will. Everyone is having a free will to do whatever he want, and Lord, I mean, this will also come in the purport down. The Lord doesn't want to interfere in that free will business. Mm. Mm-hmm. Why? As I said, there are two ways. One is your own effort through which you can achieve it, huh? Because then you really want to try out something. You came to the garden, you start pulling. You don't know anything. You started pulling. That already brings a result. Or someone is just pushing it to you that, hey, take this prasad. You may just think it is as normal. Yeah, you just take it's normal sweet. But then you when you eat, it's also prasadam. It also does. No, no, it's not Lord wants it, that's why it's happening. Because Lord is allowing it is happening. And He's allowing because we as jivas have free choice. He can still overrule, but He doesn't want. Because He wants us to change with love, not with force. Yep. This is coming. I mean, I think it is in the next, again we came to the eighth verse. Now let me find. Yeah, so freedom, next second exhibition. No, this is verse 16. No, we have not come. Anyway, so it comes in one of the purports. We have not yet come to that level yet. But this is very important. If when we don't understand this basic concept, no, we cannot appreciate the Lord's greatness because always this keeps coming. Yeah, how can Lord be cruel? How can Lord be partial? And all those things will come, right? When we do not understand the science of God properly, we cannot advance so intensely. Hmm? It's okay. Uh, so, yeah, coming back. So the Lord is present. This is the main point here. In spite of He there, He's still doing very good for everyone. That is the real purpose. The Lord is present. The conditioned soul engages in the happiness and distress of a particular body given by Him by arrangement of external energy. But the supreme living being or Paramatma is different from conditioned soul. So it's not considered like, okay, you are with me, so you are also of my level. If someone is favoring, we can't just take it like, hi, is my level. The conditioned soul comes to this material world in order to lord it over the material nature. And Lord is merciful that He created this wonderful world so that we can enjoy. We wanted to enjoy, Lord created it. Uh, but then this minute independence of conditioned soul is exhibited by his marginal position. The difference between I and this table is this table cannot do anything. But why? Because this is of external energy, Bahiranga Shakti. I, as a soul, I am a Tatastha Shakti, which is I am not the Supreme Lord, but I have a fragmental, similar spirit within me. That's why I am, mm, as soon as I am coming in contact with matter, I feel that I am matter. As soon as when I leave this understanding, then I become spirit soul. So that's why we are called Tatastha Shakti. We're just on the like a cat on a wall, like that. The individual living entity is given the independence. His conditional life is ended, and his life becomes successful as soon as he turns his face to the Lord. But by misusing his independence, he enters into material existence. So, I mean, I cannot speak for what those people who are affected in any war or anything prayed. Of course, no one will say, "Hey, come and kill me or give me all problems." But what we pray sometimes is we don't even know what we are praying. We think it is good for us, but it's harmful because our understanding of what is good itself, if we don't have clarity, because we have not put that under the context of Shastras. And then when we see, anyway, I don't have that understanding, what I'm doing is now I'm saying, forget about me, there is a devotee, and even he is going through all these problems. A devotee का problem नहीं है क्योंकि devotee understands that this is anyway mercy of the Lord. Why I am using this example is, I am not having clarity. Outside the body of the conditional soul, the Supreme Lord remains as the time factor. According to Sankhya philosophy, yeah, there are 25 elements. The 25th element, mm, already described, plus the time factor, uh, is the 25th one. So, in that way, 24 and 25th. According to some learned philosopher, the super soul is included to make a total of 26. Mm, We are still going slowly. This and after the personality, Supreme Personality impregnates the material nature with his internal potency. Material nature delivers the sum total of cosmic intelligence, which is called Hiranmaya. You may have heard Hiranyagarbha and Hiranmaya. Maya, we know this, yeah, the potency of the Lord, yeah, which is golden form, it's called Hiranmaya. This takes place in the material nature when she is agitated by the destinations of the conditional souls. It's like a parcel has come, it has to go to different destinations, right? There is central warehouse. Huh? This material nature before the which soul has to go into which body, the dispatch system happens. It is this the Lord who is agitating the nature to engage in that service. Thus, after manifesting variegatedness, this different forms, right? Then there is this Mahat Tattva, which contains all the universes within itself, mm, which is the root of all cosmic manifestations and which is not destroyed at time of annihilation. uh, Swallows the darkness that covered the effulgence at time of dissolution. So this is very important to understand Mahat Tattva. Tattva is nature, Mahat means material, and now we understand that since the Supreme Lord is ever existing, all blissful and full of knowledge, his different energies are also ever existing in the dormant stage. So this Mahat Tattva is also existing. It's not like okay, there is only a time factor, na, only for some time it is there. No, it is anyway existing. Just like if you go to other country, even there is also air, water, uh, um, and even now if we go to other planets, right? So we may think, hey, is there water there? This is what we are testing. Uh, Whatever is needed, it is there. The conditions that are needed are there. Thus, when Mahat Tattva was created, it manifested the material ego and swallowed up the darkness which covered the cosmic manifestation at the time of dissolution. This idea can be further explained. A person at night remains inactive, covered by darkness of night. But when he is awakened in the morning, the covering of night or the forgetfulness of sleeping state hmm, disappears. Similarly, when Mahat Tattva appears after the night of dissolution, the effulgence is manifested into exhibit variegatedness of this material world. So, as if we were giving the example, right? The whole world is there, but when there is no light, we cannot see everything is there. So, this manifestation of the whole creation appears and disappears based on this principle of time. Yeah. The mode of goodness, which is clear, sober status of understanding the personality of Godhead, and which is generally called Vasudeva or consciousness, becomes manifest in the Mahat Tattva. So, I mean, this is further explanation. Vasudeva manifestation or the status of understanding the Supreme Lord is called pure goodness, Suddha Sattva. In Suddha Sattva state, there is no infringement of other qualities, namely passion and ignorance. In Vedic literature, there is mention of Lord expansion as four principal personalities of Godhead: Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Here is the reappearance of Mahatattva, the four expansions. We know they are called Chaturvyuha, yeah, incarnation of the Lord. When the Lord in the spiritual world also, he appeared in these four forms, but again the material form, he is reappearing in this way. The Lord is again reappearing. He is seated within as super soul, expands first as Vasudeva. So this Vasudeva, I mean the one who is inside our heart is the Vasudeva expansion of the Lord. The Vasudeva stage is free from infringement by material desires and is a status in which one can understand the supreme personality of Godhead or the object which is described, Adbhuta, as Adbhutam. This is another feature of Mahat Tattva. Vasudeva expansion is also called Krishna consciousness. Yeah, expanding. When we say expansion means pervading. So this understanding that Vasudeva is present uh, inside us, this is what is Krishna consciousness. For it is free from all tinges of material passion and ignorance. This clear state of understanding helps one to know uh, the supreme personality of Godhead. Vasudeva's status is also explained in Bhagavad Gita as Kshetrajna. Uh, to understand that I am the soul, I am the one who is residing in this body. Living being who has occupied a particular body knows that body, but super knower Vasudeva knows not only a particular type of body, but also the field of activities in all the different varieties of bodies. Vasudeva is Krishna alone. When Krishna or Vishnu is alone, without the accompaniment of his internal energy, he is Vasudeva. Hmm? When he is accompanied by his internal potency, he is called Dwarakadisha. For this purpose, uh, anyway, this is details. Hmm? There is this such a great soul is very rare, yeah, to understand this. In order to get release from the false ego, one has to worship Sankarshana, Balaram, expansion. Sankarshana also worshipped through Lord Shiva. Sankarsana is also worshipped through Lord Shiva. The snakes which cover the body of Lord Shiva are representation of Sankarshana. And Lord Shiva is always absorbed in meditation upon Sankarshana. One who is actually a worshipper of Lord Shiva as a devotee of Sankarshana can be released from false material ego. If one wants to get free from mental disturbances, one has to worship Aniruddha. For this purpose, worship of moon planet is also recommended in Vedic literature. Similarly, to be fixed in one's intelligence, one has to worship Pradyumna, who is reached through the worship of Brahma. These matters are explained in Vedic literature. I mean, this is what Prabhupada is saying. So, but what we understand from here is that the same Lord, it is the same Lord who has expanded in this uh, Vasudeva Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha forms. And by praying, one can be blessed with that. Hmm. And then, yeah, I'll go a little faster. So then comes this chitta. Yeah, representation of Mahatattva in the body of Jiva is the consciousness. To know whether a body is alive or not, it is this consciousness through which we can know. And this consciousness is called chitta. Just like as soon as someone hit me on my finger, it is this consciousness through which I am knowing it. This is chitta. And then Mahat Tattva transforms into Ahankar. Uh, and three types because of these gunas: Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa. So that way. And who is the preceding deity of this is Sankarshana. And then Manas. It appears from the false ego in Sattva Guna. So mind is still, we cannot say in the most purest form that we can rely on mind. That's why we say that it can be our friend or it can be our enemy. Why? Because it is still in the mode of goodness, but not in pure goodness. Because of which there is always a friend, a bad friend may come and say, "Hey, let's do that." Then the goodness will go to hell. So there is always a risk of this. So that's why it's so important to be in association of goodness. Uh, and then buddhi appears from false ego in rajas. You know, characteristics. What are the characteristics? Helps in ascertaining the nature of objects. The dravya purana vijnanam. To help the senses, indriyanam anugraha. And then it also, this buddhi uh, is uh, samsaya. Yeah, when we have doubts or creating doubts is also the quality of this buddhi, intelligence. Hmm. And misapprehension, viparyayas, and correct apprehension, nishchaya, memory, smriti, and swapaha, sleep. So this all is um, these activities are carried through the intelligence element of the material nature in every being. Then indriya appears from false ego in rajas. Two types. One is karmendriya and one is jnanendriya. Hmm? And then tanmatra, the objects appear from false ego in tamas. So anyway, this is a classification of how what appeared, and of course, Prabhupada also mentioned kind of brief because he has covered that in very length in previous in the second canto it comes. And then there is this sound element. Then there comes the ether, touch, air, form, fire, taste, water, smell, ether. So verse number 47 to 49 is giving how from what appeared. I think in the Bhakta course you have come across, right? So and in that way, what is an all inclusive and what is primary element. But anyway, this is only for people who want to know more about the creation. Hmm. But Lord is saying that Lord is also has created this Karya Shrishti, whatever. When all the elements were unmixed, the Supreme Lord entered the universe and with Kala, Karma, and Guna. So that's how he entered into the universes. So the Lord Himself is the representation of this Kala, Karma, and Guna. But He is not affected by them. Though He is, all these are He Himself, but He is not influenced by them. When those elements rose into activities and united with the presence of Lord, an unintelligent egg arose, from which appeared the Virat Roop. Within this universal egg is the universal form, uh, 14 planetary systems, which is covered outside by 7 layers. Each outside layer is 10 times thicker than the previous layer. Final outside layer is covered by Pradhan. The Virat Purusha situated himself in that golden, that's why it's called Hiranya Garbha, golden egg. The Lord himself is situated inside, which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments. So that's what Kari Srishti, in for the activities to happen. So the Lord Himself is creating all these things, and then creation of various limbs of Virat Roop. Yeah, all this is again a repetition which says how the gross elements, this mouth, nostrils, ears, yeah, skin, genitals, anus, hands, legs, veins, abdomen, heart, all these appeared. Hmm? And what are the subtle sense organs? Speech, sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of touch, semen, organs of defecation, power of grasping and dropping things, process of movement, blood through the veins, yeah, and feeling of hunger and thirst because of the udaram, abdomen, and heart, yeah, manas. That's why we say the heart is residing in the heart. Sorry, what is that? Soul is residing in the heart. Sorry. Hmm. And then accordingly, the respective representatives are also created. All the devatas, we see that. Okay. We see that the fire god uh, is facilitating mouth. If I don't know if you have gone to Tirumala, right, in Tirupati, there will be someone who is going to sell you small silver plates. I don't know if you have seen. Not yantras. They are these small silver plates that will have a shape of a leg or an eye or a ear or mouth.
Distribute,
Hmm?
distributing.
So if someone has a problem, what they have to simply do is just take this and offer to the Lord and leave it in the hundi. Why? Because that shows it's not like one has to go to a fire god or wind god or sun god. It is the Lord, Lord Balaji is who can do everything. Hmm. So then the deity of what? I mean, this is only a detail just to know how various functionings are taken by whom. Yeah, where we see that the Lord of false ego is Lord Shiva, to control it. The Lord of intelligence is Lord Brahma. The Lord of Chitta, consciousness, is Lord Vasudeva. So, in that way. And the Devatas attempt to wake up the Virat Roop. Devatas then wanted to wake up Virat Roop, but upon failing to do so, they re-entered the respective apertures of Virat Roop along with the subtle senses, one after another, to wake up the Virat Roop, but they were unsuccessful. The example is fire god entered his mouth along with organs of speech, etc. And Virat Roop finally, after every attempt failed, finally Virat Roop himself woke up, which means to say that we cannot just do, uh, but when Lord wills, then it happens. Hmm? However, when Vasudeva entered the heart along with the Chitta, the Virat Roop rose up from water. Huh? This is also when this matter is there, when this soul is entering, then this body is electrified and then everything is functioning. Example given is the prana's mind and intelligence cannot wake up a sleeping individual without the intervention of the super soul. Same. Hmm. Goal of explaining the analysis of elements is what? To contemplate on the super soul through devotion, detachment, and spiritual knowledge. So that is what we are getting from Bhagavatam is that one strange one can be getting an understanding that after all, behind what we are seeing as happening with our efforts, the effort is indeed, yeah, even blessed by the Lord. So that appreciation should develop devotion to the Lord, should increase detachment to the material nature, because this is only secondary creation, uh, and understand our own identity. So that is the purpose. That's it. We finished the chapter. Yeah, in itself, it has, I mean, not not devotional dimension of it, but it can also help us to understand what is true devotion, and before that, what is secondary. Yeah, I don't know if anyone want to add anything or questions.
Prabhuji, one person asked me that when there is heart surgery, like changing the hearts,
Heart transplantation.
yes, so how the soul will transfer from that heart to this heart? He asked me, so I don't have any answer for that.
Yeah, come on, you're intelligent, you know it.
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it is that the beauty of the soul is that it's not what do you call, a matter where if it is in one space, it cannot go any other place. The soul in itself, the property is it is all pervading. Though the residence is the heart, just like it is like you are living in which city, I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. But it's not that you're always only there, right? Yeah. Heart is the home of the soul. Doesn't mean that the soul is only restricted to stay in the heart. The soul is all pervading, though it is so minute, but he is all pervading. Yeah. And when this clinical operation happens now, when the heart is removed, yeah, the soul can reside in some other space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is what Shastras say. Yeah. So the Lord is Chitta. That's what we are also seeing, that He is all conscious, and that nature itself means that He is not just an object. It's not even a subtle object, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Soul is not even subtle object which can be still seen. Its home is Hriday. Yeah. But he is pervading everywhere.
Okay, Prabhuji.
It is just imagine catching a rat in a garden. How difficult it is. So there is no restriction for the soul. Yeah. So the whole body is there. The soul is all pervading. Yeah. I don't, did it answer your question or?
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Apu Prabhu, I think raised hand.
Prabhuji, is that the verse, I think 21, there is mention that Mahatattva, from Mahatattva also there is expansion the four Vasudev question for the non.
Say again, I didn't hear. Can you say again, Apu Prabhu?
Hearing now, Prabhuji?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Prabhuji, in the verse 21 also there is mention that there is also reappearance of the four Chaturbhuva from the Mahatattva.
Mhm. In the verse 21,
I think 21, I think, that verse.
reappearance of what? Yeah, they're always there. So what's your question?
I mean, what type of expansion is this, Prabhuji? Because normally we read actually from the first Shankarshan and then second Shankarshan like this. But from the Mahatattva also they expand. Because Mahatattva normally we read in the material world only. I mean, like it's like a kind of like not like that much Chinmay. We don't consider Mahatattva that much Chinmay.
I mean, yeah. In order that that material nature needs direction, the Lord is appearing to direct in these different forms, expansions. I don't know if there was, I mean, I long back saw a order of how the Lord expands into different. There is this, and in the material world also he has this four forms. But again, he is not, and that's why you remember, right? So whenever the Lord is appearing an incarnation, he's
Hmm?
taking the form of from Vasudeva.
Yeah, but which Vasudeva? That's actually I asked me. Because I remember that Vasudeva is which is from the first Chaturva or second Chaturva, something like that. Because why I am asking this question? Because here itself is mentioned that which is the expansion is this Vasudev. This Vasudev is actually like Kshetraga, which is
what we are hearing, seeing it, right? Four forms, and one is Vasudeva.
sorry,
Here
Prabhuji,
you see this line.
your
You see
voice
this.
very broken.
You see this line. What I am highlighting.
So the Vasudeva status is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita as Kshetraga. So this one I am telling Prabhuji.
Kshetrajna. Yeah.
So this line I am telling because here Srila Prabhupada mentioned that this is the Vasudeva which is coming from the Mahatattva is the Kshetraga, means this is the Paramatma. But we know that Paramatma is actually expansion from the Kiridakashai Vishnu, which is a Purushavartar line. I mean that's category. So these 2 points I am not actually able to figure it out that how these both lines are actually similar.
Yeah, they are similar in sense because this Lord who is Paramatma. So whatever you're saying that Kshirodakasai Vishnu is appearing after the Garbhodakasai Vishnu is has created everything and he's inundating this whole world with all lives, right? We are saying that Kshirodakasai Vishnu is taking form, and we see that from here that he is none other than this Vasudeva expansion, because Lord is taking these four forms through which he's enacting the whole activities in the material world.
Hmm.
So in that sense, we see the living being who has occupied a particular type of body knows that body, but super. I mean, this is further detail, but the Vasudeva status is also explained in Bhagavad Gita as Kshetrajna, which refers to the knower of the field of activities, as well as the super knower. Let me, sorry, one second, which refers to the knower of the field. It is we, field of activities as well as the super knower. Oh, sorry, no. What this refers to is a consciousness, to know that the Lord is present inside us, yeah, as Paramatma, and knowing that I myself, I am in the body. That is the Vasudeva understanding. That is what Prabhupada is referring here. Yeah, nice that you brought, because when I read, I also was thinking that Vasudeva expansion is the super knower. No, what here Prabhupada is mentioning is that no, this Vasudeva status is a level to know that okay, inside my heart the Lord is also residing. Yeah, who is the Kshirodakashayi expansion.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't understand the point actually.
Okay. Is it better? The voice is clear.
Now, voice is clear, but your point I
Okay.
didn't understand that.
Okay. So it is that we know this Brahman realization status, right?
This is just a status of our consciousness. This is the
Right.
like some kind of like a name,
Correct.
like Vasudeva Shakti or Vasudeva
Yeah.
Sthiti.
Yeah. Sthiti, correct. Yeah.
But here is a different one, which I actually want to understand. Here I am understanding that this Vasudeva form actually, what is the expansion form, is coming from the Mahatattva. But till now, what I used to know that actually that Paramatma, which is a Kshetraga, I mean, according to the Bhagavad Gita also, is coming from the Kirodakashayi Vishnu line. That means Purushavatara line. So this actually I want to understand that how this expansion, I mean, in this line expansion that Vasudeva and that Purushavatara line expansion, Kirodakashayi expansion Paramatma is the same.
What I understand from here, it's not the same, right?
But here they are telling, Prabhupada is telling that this Vasudeva is the Kshetraga. So that means
No. That's why I read again. See, here what it states is that the Vasudeva status is also explained, yeah, which refers to the knower of the field of activities, huh?
Hmm?
Kshetrajna, yeah, Kshetra, and to know about the field of activity, as well as the super knower. The super knower is the super soul, right? The Supreme Lord. And then that is what he is saying is that is but that super knower, Vasudeva, knows not only a particular type of body, so which is none other than the Paramatma expansion.
So who is actually expansion here? Vasudeva or Paramatma? So that means Vasudeva is not Paramatma here.
No, no, it is this is indeed Paramatma, na? This is what we are seeing.
That's why I'm telling. So that means they are the same, no, now. That Vasudeva is the same. And then Paramatma is, who is the Śrīdeva says expansion is the same.
And what I am saying is just how everything is coming systematically into manifestation. We know that the Lord is expanding into Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, but when in the material world he is entering into a body, into a living entity, he is entering through the Vasudeva expansion. Yeah, that's why if you see this little Krishna, na, whenever when Lord is appearing to kill, before killing the Krishna is changing into four-armed Vasudeva.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you have seen.
Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
but Prabhuji, normally when we read avatar, when this avatar comes, as far as I remember, it mentioned is the second Choturbhuva, I think. I have to remember, but definitely it should have to be like that. Second Choturbhuva something, which is still in the Vaikuntha side, planet side. I mean, but here what Srila Prabhupada mentioned is this expansion is coming from the Mahatattva who is already in the material periphery. So I have still doubt. I mean, in this section that Vasudev and that second expansion Vasudev, from where actually that I mean avatar is coming.
Is your question what is the source of this Vasudeva or?
Yes, actually, because I remember there is two Vasudev. Now, Prabhuji, first expansion there is also one circle Vasudev is there. Then second expansion was also there. Then there is also one Vasudev is there, right? Two
Yeah.
Vasudev is there from the Mahashankarshan. So as far as I remember, the second Vasudev actually that avatar actually Vishnu Datta avatar is actually comes. But here was mentioned one more expansion is there in the Mahatattva. And then there also Vasudev is there.
I mean I have a what do you call a tree, yeah,
Hmm? Okay,
a
okay.
tree which will show from beginning how expansions came,
Hmm.
and I also have an image or I mean part of a slide which shows like how expansions happened. I do not know how each of expansions functions in different yeah appearances, but yeah maybe that through that we can see if there is a third expansion. We can check that.
Okay, Pooja, then I will also check a little. So maybe next class, I mean, you can show me that picture.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, let me share if I find I'll put it in the group.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, nice, new to know because for me I was a brief reading through different expansions of the Lord functions and yeah, Prabhupada where he was referring for intelligence, whom to take shelter, etc., etc. Okay, I'm very hungry. Any other questions or anything anyone want to add? Last? Okay, then. Have a nice weekend. I heard today's last sunny day. Next week would be very chilly. So make best of it. Go out for walking. पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।